Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Gus and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Gus's ability to understand and respond to his formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the puppies when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give is a little tug and release on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. You're going to be introduced to that training equipment tomorrow when Rich brings Gus home and taught how to use it properly. Now Gus is sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done, and the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and I think your dad will get a kick out of this, and the command is Gus, heel.
Gus, heel.
Now at this point, Gus has a job to do, and that is to stay even with your left leg when you're walking. Not dragging you down the street, not forging ahead, which I saw when I picked him up, not lagging behind, but walking even with your left leg. If you turn, he should turn. If you speed up or slow down, he should do the same, but it should be all about what you want, not out at the end of the leash whipping you out of your shoes. And when you stop to cross the street or talk to someone on the street, he sits automatically without being told to wait for his next command. And the next command is the sit stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command. It can be practiced indoors as well as outdoors. You're going to start out at about 30 seconds. You're going to slowly work up to 3 minutes. The more you work with this puppy now, the better you're going to be, because he's going to be a big dog, and Giant Schnauzers are nothing to mess with once they're grown. When Rich returns back to him, he walks all the way around him, and Gus remains seated and waits till he gets his next command. And Rich takes off heeling again. So if you noticed, when Rich got back to Gus's shoulders, he stopped. And then he gave another command. Everything is about self-control, listening to your owner. Staying with you when you walk. All of our exercises are designed to help to develop self-control and maturity. Rich leaves him again in another sit stay. Lengthen this out. Work in your house. You don't have to go outside in the heat. Work right inside. This time Rich is going to call him. It's Gus, come. And Gus has been taught to come right in front and sit facing your knees, and then return back to heel and back sitting. Very nicely done. He's doing a great job with his heeling. Nice automatic sits. Rich leaves him again in another sit stay, turns out to face Gus. And then he uses his name, lightens his tone of voice, and calls Gus in, and Gus comes right in and sits, and that was perfect. And then he goes back to heel and back sitting. Very good. Now the next commands that we're going to be demonstrating for you are probably ones that after the heel you will use the most, and those are the down commands. So the first down command that we're going to demonstrate is the down from a heel position. So with your puppy seated at your left, always have him seated first. You're going to take your left open palm straight down toward the ground, and the one-word command to down and stay. Now your long down stay, you're going to work all the way up to 5 minutes, and this helps to build self-control and maturity as well. Start out at about a minute, work up to 5. When Rich returns back to him, he will walk all the way around him just as he did on the sit stay as an additional distraction, and Gus remains laying down until he gets his next command. And Rich heels him out of that, and we're going to demonstrate that again for you. So remember, have him seated first, left open palm, straight down toward the ground, down and stay. Rich walks all the way out to the end of his leash, because this time he's going to call Gus out of this. Gus comes right in and sits right away. And then he goes back to heel and back sitting. Very good. And the very last down that we're going to demonstrate for you is your down from a distance. And you're going to notice that if you put your video on and you practice in your house, run it through twice, Gus will be tired out because he's using his brain. And even if he's using his brain to outthink you, he's still using his brain. Rich leaves him in a sit-stay. He turns to face the dog. He uses his right hand to give the command. And Gus lays down from a distance. And you're going to be able to lengthen out your distance as well as your time with that one. Now, we have demonstrated for you all of Gus's formal on-leash obedience commands. Rich is going to bring home a packet of paperwork for you that he will go over with you, scheduling, feeding, all the important information that you're going to need to know making the transition of this puppy back home. We want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company. We've enjoyed Gus, and we will see you soon.